Do you ever feel like your firm is running you instead of you running your firm? You know that you ought to be in charge, but somehow it seems like everybody else is telling you what to do and when to do it and how to do it. I just want to say the phrase of running your firm instead of your firm running to you is not a catchy phrase. So this is Lauren Fogelman with Business Success Solution. And when your firm is really taking charge of your life, it's wreaking havoc with your workload and the flow that you have set up, then it's a real issue and it can actually set you up for burnout, lack of motivation, and even overflow into your personal life, affecting your health, your well-being, and your relationships. So right off the bat, I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. I want you to think about what is it that's going to have you take back control of your firm. And to begin with, let's kind of talk about what that means, because when you're actually feeling like your firm's running you, it means that you're constantly in reaction mode. Someone reaches out to you urgently and you stop everything that you had planned for your agenda today and you work on that person's thing. It's a way of thinking that someone else's emergency becomes your crisis too. And some of the ways to be able to think about this is if you're constantly putting out fires, you're answering your phone every single time there's a call, you're the front line, you're responding to all of your emails as soon as they come in. You find yourself maybe catching up after hours because the fact that your agenda was disrupted for the day. And it seems like that to-do list never, ever, ever ends. And even if you're on vacation, you're still opening up your laptop and doing some work. So the other side of you running your firm, you being in charge, is where you're proactive, you're not reactive any longer. You have systems and processes in place. So when somebody does call with an emergency, you have a way of addressing it and being able to handle it that doesn't disrupt your entire day. You also might have a team that you trust if you are not a solo practitioner. So you might have people there and you know that you can delegate certain things to them or have them take charge of something and that they're going to follow through with what they're meant to do. You have the ability to step away from your firm without everything coming to a complete halt or feeling like if you take any time off, it's all going to fall apart. And the other thing is that there is strength and time and motivation to actually grow your firm very strategically. It's not just about what's going on today in your daily operations. So this brings me to my next question is, what have you been tolerating? Think about it. It's either people, places, or processes. It goes into those three categories. So whatever you've been tolerating, and you probably have a really high threshold, I want you to think about what is it that you would like to change, and maybe even open up a spreadsheet and right now write down 3 things that immediately come to mind. And then later on, you can go ahead and fill that list with all the different pain points in addition to those 3 things that you're writing down right now. So think about the things that you've been holding back on, that you've been just maybe tolerating for much too long, and you know that they're having some type of impact. It would be so much better for you, your well-being, your firm, your team, if you didn't tolerate those things any longer. So once again, people, places, or processes. And some of the things to think about is, okay, people, the people that disrupt your workflow, or as soon as you get an email communication from them, your blood pressure just skyrockets. Maybe it is a process where you have something in place, but it's not as effective as it could be, and there's a better way of doing something. Or possibly it is about perfectionism, that you need to recheck things because you just hate making mistakes or being wrong. So those are some of the things to think about is be brutally honest. Once again, what have you been tolerating? And once again, as you think about those, come up with those first 3 things right away. And which one of those top 3 would you love to resolve first? That brings us to the next thing to consider is the impact of having your firm run you. It's serious. So think about it yourself. When you feel like your firm's running you, what are some of the things that you experience? Burnout? Your firm's not able to grow at the rate that you would like it to because you're at capacity or you don't have the emotional capacity. It puts a cap on your earnings as a result of that, and also flows into your personal life, relationships, personal health, motivation. Maybe at the end of the weekend, you're just too tired to actually do anything fun. So that's something to think about. So we talked about your firm running you. We also looked at you running your firm. What are things you've been tolerating, some of the impact of it, and I want to let you know there is an upside. It doesn't have to remain this way. You can take charge of putting things in place to turn it around so that you're now in charge of your firm instead of your firm being in charge of you. And when you do that, you actually are able to have increased revenues, there's capacity for growth, and you actually regain your personal time. Priceless, right? So your motivation returns overall for life as well as for business. And some things to get started with to go from being busy to being the boss are three things. The very first thing is, once again, assess. Be very honest about your current situation, the things you've been tolerating, and what is one thing that you would like to have as your starting point that you would love to be able to address and resolve. The next thing is number two, that goes right into it, the priorities. You can't change everything at once as much as you would like to. It's not about making those three wishes on the genie bottle and then it all magically goes away. So what you want to do is choose one, maybe two areas that you feel have the biggest impact and you have the capacities to start to address. You don't have to do it all right now. You just have to get started. And that goes into number three, which is action. Once again, change requires time as well as effort. There's a cost of time, effort, and sometimes investment. And this might mean having a difficult conversation with somebody. It might be releasing somebody from your ecosystem, whether it's your personal or your professional life that you've been tolerating for too long. It could be maybe investing in new software to be able to get things more efficient, or possibly blocking out some time for strategic planning and firm growth and business development. So whatever it is for you, go from being interested in doing it to being committed to making that change happen. When you do that, it's very, very empowering. And the thing to think about is, once again, okay, to get started is assess, prioritize, and action. So you want your business to be a vehicle for achieving your goals, not an obstacle to them. Once again, you want your business to be a vehicle for achieving your goals, not an obstacle for them. So let's remove what you've been tolerating in order for you to regain control, because you deserve a firm that raises your quality of life, not one that takes from it. If you feel like this is something you're ready to do, it is time, it's been on your mind, and you just need to be able to have those steps to be able to move forward and take charge of your firm, then let's go ahead and have a conversation about how to be able to get that happening. I can be reached at businesssuccesssolution.com/let's talk to be able to kickstart getting you in charge of your firm instead of your firm taking charge of you and your personal life. I'd love to know what you took away, what resonated with you, what it is that was maybe affirmed for you that you're already putting in place. Please let me know, and I look forward to further conversations. We're in Fogelman, showing firm owners how to double their income, working half the time.